Good morning. It is August 9th, 2014. Welcome to the Daily Echo. What a great day today is. As I recall back 25 years ago, my wife and I were blessed with our first child, Marcus, and so we're celebrating his birthday today and how much we love and appreciate him and what an incredible son he is. And those of you out there that are parents know usually the children many times account for some of the faults us parents have. And they turn out in spite of us many times to be great men and women. And I'm so blessed, and we're so blessed to have Marcus in our life. It made me think of a story, and I want to read this today. I typically don't read this. I'm going to read it fairly quickly because I have been this father, and I think it's important for fathers to understand this. This is called Father Forgets by Livingston Larned, and I really love this little story. It says, "Listen, son, I'm saying this as you lie asleep. One little paw crumpled under your cheek, and the blonde curls stickily wet under your damp forehead. I have stolen into your room alone. Just a few minutes ago, as I sat reading my paper in the library, a stifling wave of remorse swept over me. Guiltily, I come to your bedside at this time. There are things I was thinking, son. I had been cross to you. I scolded you as you were dressing for school because you gave your face merely a dab with a towel. I took you to task for not cleaning your shoes. I called out angrily when you threw some of your things on the floor. At breakfast, I found fault again, too. You spilled things, you gulped down your food. You put your elbows on the table. You spread butter too thick on your bread. And as you started off to play, and I made for my train, you turned and waved a hand and called, 'Goodbye, Daddy.' And I frowned and said in reply, 'Hold your shoulders back, son.' Then it began again all over in the late afternoon. As I came up the road, I spied upon you. You were down on your knees playing marbles with the other children. There were holes in your stockings. I humiliated you before your boyfriends by marching you ahead of me to the house. Stockings were expensive, and if you had to buy them, you would be more careful. Imagine that, son, from a father. Do you remember later when I was reading in the library how you came in timidly with a sort of hurt look in your eyes? When I glanced over my paper, impatient and interrupted, you hesitated at the door. 'What is it that you want?' I snapped. You said nothing, but ran across in one tempestuous plunge and threw your arms around my neck and kissed me, and your small arms tightened with an affection that God had set blooming in your heart and which even neglect could not wither. And then you were gone, pattering up the stairs. Well, son, it was shortly afterwards that my paper slipped from my hands and a terrible sickening fear came over me. What has habit been doing to me? The habit of finding fault, of reprimanding. This was my reward for you being my boy. It was not that I did not love you, it was that I expected too much of youth. I was measuring you by the yardstick of my own years, and there was so much that was good and fine and true in your character. The little heart of you was as big as the dawn itself, over wide and over the hills. This was shown by your spontaneous impulse to rush in and kiss me goodnight. Nothing else matters tonight, son. I have come to your bedside in the darkness, and I have knelt there ashamed. It is a feeble atonement. I know you would not understand these things if I told them to you during the waking hours. But tomorrow I will be a real dad. I will chum with you and suffer when you suffer and laugh when you laugh. I will bite my tongue when impatient words come. I will keep saying it as if it were a ritual. He is nothing but a boy, a little boy. I am afraid I have visualized you as a man, yet as I see you now, son, crumpled and weary in your bed, I see that you are still a baby. Yesterday you were in your mother's arms, your head on her shoulder. I have asked too much, too much. And the reason I bring this out today is I think a lot of us, especially fathers, we have small boys, we have small girls, we have sons and daughters, that many times we are so focused on the discipline, we're so focused on making sure that the action fits what we think it should fit in our own years that we don't take time to love them as children and appreciate that. And I know in my own life I look back and there are times that I regret that, and despite my faults and despite my bad parenting at times, we've sure been blessed with great kids. So happy birthday, Marcus. Those of you that are fathers and mothers, think this over. Google it. If you need to, and print it out. It's called Father Forgets by Livingston Larned. Have a great Saturday. And always, we appreciate your time watching The Echo. Thanks.